The April 25th, 2012 meeting of the Ways and Means Committee will now come to order. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Ms. Andrews? Mr. Antelli? Mr. Daniele? Mr. Esposito? Mr. Gamina? Mr. Haney? Mr. Hanna? Mr. McCann? Mr. O'Brien? Mr. Tucciarello? Chairman Yolovich.
Here. Are there any speakers signed up for the public forum?
There is not.
Is there anyone here who would like to address this committee at this time? Hearing none, the next item on the agenda is the approval of minutes. You have the minutes of the March 28, 2012 meeting in your folder. They will stand approved unless the clerk is notified by the end of the day. Next item is new business.
Referral 12-1.
Moved by Legislator Gamina, seconded by Legislator McCann. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next item.
Referral 12-148.
Moved by Legislator McCann, seconded by Legislator Daniele. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor please signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next item, please.
Referral 12-149.
Moved by Legislator Daniele, seconded by Legislator Tucciarello. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor please signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next item, please.
Referral 12-150. Acceptance of a grant.
Moved by Legislator Antelli, seconded by Legislator Hanna. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor please signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next item, please.
Referral 12-151. Acceptance
Moved by
of a
Legislator
grant.
Hanna, seconded by Legislator Gamina. Is there any discussion? Legislator Andrews.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Through you, this appears to be the first year the county's received this grant, and I know it's just a rather small amount of money at $1,600, but is this something that we would expect to continue to receive in the future or grow this program, or can you just speak a little bit about it, please?
Through the chair, Lieutenant Phelps, Sheriff of Flynn's administration. The DRE program is new this year. It's actually part of a larger grant that is split among municipalities, so that is the county's portion of a bigger grant. The actual grant's like, I think, $58,000. It's divided between the Stop DWI program, and the DRE is a portion of that. Grants have been getting smaller in a variety of areas due to the state's financial issues. Hopefully, if we have success with it, then we can try and encourage to get more money for it, because it is a valuable program to us. We keep very detailed statistics on the work we do with these sort of things, and we'd hope to max out the money, do a good job, and hopefully we'll get more aid next year.
Thank you. And through the chair, could you just elaborate a little bit on the process? Like, is a DRE officer called out at the scene of an arrest to then perform the post-arrest examination, or are most officers trained as DRE officers?
Through the chair, it's a very good question. No, most officers are not. In fact, the Sheriff's Office currently has 2. Most town agencies don't have any. It's an advanced school, and the purpose of it is to identify somebody who's under the influence of a drug, not alcohol. It's a very difficult thing to do, and so it's not something that comes up often. Most of our DWI arrests are alcohol-related. In the event that we have an accident, usually, where they don't believe that it was alcohol, but they believe intoxication was an element, possibly due to contraband or other indicators, the DRE is called out, and it's probably most common in serious MVAs and fatalities when this occurs.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor please signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next item, please.
Referral 12-152. Authorized.
Moved by Legislator Gamina, seconded by Legislator McCann. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor please signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next item, please.
Referral 12-153. Adopt
Moved by
a
Legislator
resolution.
McCann, seconded by Legislator Daniele. Is there any discussion? Legislator Haney.
Through the chair, is the Zoological Society pre-funding this, or will we have to issue any debt in connection with it at all?
Through you, Mr. Chairman, this is a grant that's being made by the state directly to the Zoo Society. The Zoo Society is upfronting the money and getting reimbursed by the state. The county does not have any money in this at all.
So the county will not, we will not have a bond authorization on the agenda?
Through you, Mr. Chairman, that's correct.
Okay. Now, what about the operating costs? I mean, you build a building, I assume there's going to be operating costs. Do we have any idea what the impact on our future operating budgets will be?
Through you, Mr. Chairman, the current building that the Education Department is in is an old mobile home that was salvaged out of the Scottsville Road trailer park when the airport did an expansion over there, and it was moved to the zoo. So it's in very bad shape, and it's beyond repairs right now. So anything that would replace it's going to be in far better shape, which would minimize our operating costs. Furthermore, the Zoo Society reimburses the county for all utilities, and since this building would house only Zoo Society staff, they would do so in this case.
Okay, thank you.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed, motion carries. Next item, please.
Referral 12-154.
Moved by
authorize-
Legislator Daniele, seconded by Legislator Tucciarello. Legislator O'Brien.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And through you, with respect to the design work and the public's opportunity to weigh in on the master plan improvements, how is that? Do we first have public hearings and solicit input from the public, or will the design team do some preliminary work that is kind of a starting point for the public to kind of chew on, and then will it go to public for comment, or how will that work, and what would be the timeline there, through you, Mr. Chairman?
Through you, Mr. Chairman, this would work the same way we've done recent master plan improvement concepts. What we do, as we just did at the Webster Park master plan improvement meeting, is we hire the consultant. They do some initial fact-finding, kind of boots on the ground, see what the current state is, and then we will have what we call a whiteboard meeting with residents, interested parties. You know, all are welcome, anyone who wants to come and weigh in. We find that this is better without some kind of preconceived plan for people to comment on. It actually solicits genuine ideas from people and goes to the basic needs of the users and the facilities in those parks. From that, the consultants take that input and combine it with input from other stakeholders, including the Parks Department. We often solicit the local legislators in those areas, and they put that together with some costs, and we have a second public meeting, and we go through the ideas that are presented by the consultant. Then we take that and issue a formalized report and have a third public meeting for people to comment on.
Great, thank you. And through you, Mr. Chairman, what kind of time, will they start their design work relatively soon after this adoption, presuming it passes, and when would you anticipate soliciting input from the public?
Through you, Mr. Chairman, they'll go in and start, looking at the park and doing a current state analysis. I would expect that the first public meeting would probably, because of people's availability, particularly with summer vacations and such, it's hard to hold a public meeting in the summer, and any time past mid-June, you get very low attendance. So I would probably do something after the school year started.
Thank you very much.
Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed, motion carries. Next item, please.
Referral 12-155.
Moved by
amendment-
Legislator Tucciarello, seconded by Legislator Antelli. Is there any discussion? Legislator Haney.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And through you, what is the source of the contamination that was found, or what was the contamination that was found?
Through the chair, I don't know what the source is from. We originally thought it might have been from the bridge used to be used going into the old shipbuilding plant, the Odenbach. And there was a pipe nearby, but that is not where that was to the north a little bit, that's not where the contaminated soil came from. And nothing leaked from that. So it wasn't hazardous or anything, but it's unknown where that came from. I don't know if it was something that was just done when they built it originally.
Was it petroleum?
No, it was not.
Oh, it wasn't. So since we don't know where it came from, there's no chance of any recovery from whoever contaminated it, obviously, then.
Yeah,
you.
through the chair, they're always difficult to try to prove where any of them came from after the fact.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed, motion carries. Next item, please.
Referral 12-156.
Moved by
amending-
legislator Antelli, seconded by legislator Hannah. Is there any discussion? Legislator Haney.
Same issue again. In this case, we know it's petroleum contamination from underground petroleum tanks. Do we know whose tanks they were?
Through the chair, there was a gas station that had been there, and there was an old tank that was discovered in the right-of-way that had never been removed. Our thinking is that the state, when they redid and did some signal work at 31F in Jefferson, they acquired or got an easement on the land and either didn't so they took over the property, but never did anything about the tank or didn't know it was there. So that's where that came about. I do know, I can say, although it's not, it's the need for the work and why it was discovered after. It wasn't discovered before, but the need, it's going to be paid for by the Water Authority, because that's where their work needed to be done. It wasn't road work that was necessitating where the tank was.
So the cost of the remediation, removal of the tank, that's part of the Water Authority's share of the cost?
Through the chair, that's correct. They had to pay, that's part of their betterment work.
Okay, thank you.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed, motion carries. Next item, please.
Referral 12-157.
Moved by
authorized-
legislator Hannah, seconded by legislator Gamina. Is there any discussion? Legislator O'Brien.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And through you to the administration, I understand kind of the monitoring traffic conditions would be used through the camera system. How does the system manage traffic conditions? And I know that on the adjacent expressways we have message signs, signboard and so on. This looks like it extends that system to other streets other than the expressway network. And I'm just wondering how the system manages traffic conditions.
Well, through the chair, the county actually has had a very robust computerized traffic signal system since 1984. And what the one piece that we were always able to do since 1984 is based on what we thought was happening in the field or what we felt by what with loops in the road and detection, we were able to adjust signal timings if we needed to for anything. Now, this is the next piece of the puzzle that we never had, is now we can actually see where we need and not just rely on a vehicle or a detector going bad or what's going on there. We can actually see it on the arterial streets with cameras. So although our system is tied to the states, we're really doing it on arterial streets. The states got theirs. We're all in the same building. They got they're just really looking at traffic monitoring. They cannot adjust traffic signal timings on the expressway or even on their own roads, yet we can. So that's what I mean by managing.
That's great. So through you, just so I understand, so theoretically, if you see a log jam, you could leave it on green for an extra minute in a particular cycle or cycles? Is that kind of what you're talking about?
It's through the chair, exactly. When there's, and in fact, when something happens on an expressway, depending on the time of day, we still have to service the side streets at times, and we have to allow time for pedestrians to get across the street, but we can change the timing. Say if there was an accident on 490, and it shut down 490, and now everybody had to get off on Culver Road, we could provide more time on Culver Road going northbound or in southbound for a period of time because of what was going on. And number one, if we see the cameras, we can know that much sooner.
Great, thank you very much.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed, motion carries. Next item, please.
Referral 12-158, authorized.
Moved
to
by
re-
legislator Gamina, seconded by legislator McCann. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed, motion carries. Next item, please.
Referral 12-159,
Moved by
authorized.
legislator McCann, seconded by legislator Daniele. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed, motion carries. Next item, please.
Referral 12-160,
Moved by
authorized.
legislator Daniele, seconded by legislator Tucciarello. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed, motion carries. Next item, please.
Referral 12-161,
Moved by legislator Tucciarello, seconded by legislator Antelli. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed, motion carries. Next item, please.
Referral 12-162,
Moved by
acceptance.
legislator Antelli, seconded by legislator Hanna. Is there any discussion? Legislator Haney.
Could I just I lost track of the numbers, back up to 161 and ask a question?
Okay. Well,
The total award thus far this year is $1,686,000. What does that compare to at this point last year? Does anyone know?
hold on, we're going to get Mr. Helfer back here. He thought he was going to sneak out, but we caught him. Paul, would you be kind enough to rephrase your question, please?
Yes. This additional grant for the Home Energy Assistance Program brings our total this year to $1,686,000, it says. How does that compare to where we were at this point last year?
Through the chair, at this point last year, we had received $2.5 million in administrative funds.
So we're down $900,000?
Through the chair, that's correct, yes.
Wow, what kind of an impact is that going to have on the program?
Through the chair, it's had no appreciable impact on the benefits to the Monroe County residents. That's our administrative allocation, and we have done our best to leverage our internal staffing resources to meet the demand. We haven't been unable to issue any benefits as a result of this reduction.
Have we had to reduce the number of employees that are working on the administration of the program?
Through the chair, not intentionally. We had some staff vacancies in our contract agency. We contract with Catholic Family Center, and actually those vacancies assisted us in not overextending the administrative allocation.
Okay. How do you absorb a $900,000 funding reduction without having to adjust staff?
Through the chair, I apologize. Could you restate the question?
Yes. How do you handle a $900,000 funding reduction without adjusting staffing levels?
We, through the chair, have not needed to adjust staffing levels so much as asking our supervision to do more line work, to do more actual processing of cases. And we have employed a task-based management concept in this area so that different people are doing the tasks, separate tasks along a continuum, and that's realized some efficiencies for us.
Okay, thank you.
Any further discussion? We've already voted on that one, so we're at the point of, I believe, on 162. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Question there too, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, Legislator Haney.
There's basically two AIDS providers in town, the Strong Operation and Community Health Network. all of this money is going to the medical center. Why is Community Health Network not, why aren't they considered in the scope of this program?
Mr. Chair, the funding is for use for county health departments that diagnose new HIV-positive clients to assist them getting into medical care at locations such as AIDS care or Strong Memorial Hospital. In the past year, we identified 20 to 30 new HIV-positive patients in our clinics, and approximately 60 to 70 cases that had already been known to be positive were seen in our clinics, and we worked with all of them to try to establish that they would get into regular medical care. So this is an outreach and a case management grant, not a service grant.
But do we just refer, through the chair, do we just refer all those patients automatically to the STRONG program as opposed to CHN?
Through the chair, no. We refer them to all of the different possible providers in the community. There are more than the two that you mentioned.
Well, then, why do we give all the money to STRONG if the patients are going to a variety of providers?
The STD clinic, the Monroe County Health Department STD clinic, is staffed by the University of Rochester Infectious Disease Unit staff. And so this is an extension of the work that they do for us as part of the clinic operation.
Oh, so this is funding for what ordinarily would be the county's STD operation in which the cases are found.
That's correct.
Oh, okay. From the transmittal, it sounded like it was money that was going to STRONG as a care provider. And that's not the case, I take it.
You're correct.
Thank you.
Any further discussion on 162? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed, motion carries. Next item, please.
Referral 12-163.
Moved by
acceptance.
legislator Hannah, seconded by legislator Gamina. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed, motion carries. Next item, please.
Referral 12-164.
Moved by legislator Gamina, seconded by legislator McCann. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed, motion carries. Next item, please.
Referral 12-165.
Moved by legislator McCann, seconded by legislator Daniele. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed, motion carries. Next item, please.
Referral 12-166.
Moved by legislator Daniele, seconded by legislator Tucciarello. Is there any discussion? Legislator Haney.
Through you, Mr. Chairman, will we recover the $4,200 from the school district? I know if it was a town tax, we'd be recovering it, but can we also go back and recover from the school district?
Through the chair, yes, we will.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next item, please.
Referral 12-167. Erroneous.
Moved by legislator Tucciarello, second by legislator Antelli. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next item, please.
Referral 12-168. Acceptance
Moved
of a
by
grant.
legislator Antelli, seconded by legislator Hannah. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next item is unfinished business. Is there any unfinished business? Hearing none. Hold on a second here. The April 25th, 2012 meeting of the Ways and Means Committee stands adjourned. The next meeting of the Ways and Means Committee is scheduled for May 23rd, 2012. Thank you.